would say my experience is pretty good because University of Windsor has a big student body of international students. So like faculty member and department, they're very used to students that are from different places and people genuinely interested in learning where you come from. And I think that is very important for me because it's welcoming and that gives you a good start. And then in terms of other things, like you want to learn about your peer, and that is pretty great too, because oftentimes there's department activity, and I would encourage every one of you try to attend, try to get to know your peers, your friends, because they can be lifelong friends too. Remember, a PhD is a long time. You want to make some good friends, especially those who understand the pain and the joy that you earn while doing your PhD. And another thing is you will start to get to know different researcher and different faculty member and their teaching style, their mentorship style, stuff like that. So I think that's something that I kind of gauge at the beginning while I'm in the program.
That's a really good thing. So adding to that, what about the funding opportunities?
Oh yeah, so that is actually something that you should already think about while you decide which program, if you get accepted, which one you want to choose and you want to go to. So oftentimes these are information that I would say ask current student. If they have international student also in the same department, ask them, because funding opportunity is different, vary by school, vary by program, and also vary by your student status. So for example, in Canada, there are many government-based or government-offered scholarship, but they only give it to local students. So University of Windsor located in Ontario, and Ontario graduate student assistantship, that everyone can apply as long as you enroll in the Ontario school. But there are other scholarship that doesn't apply to you. And other thing is, don't rely on scholarship. Like don't expect you will get that if you are preparing, like assuming the amount of expenses. And something you can rely on is that you can ask the department, do they have student stipend? So student stipend is the kind of financial support program we give to students. Sometimes they just give it to you like a salary because you are doing a degree for them. Not for them, but with them, and this is their incentive. Sometimes they have tuition waiver. So tuition waiver is you don't have to pay tuition. And for University of Windsor, unfortunately, they don't have tuition waiver. But for me, at least they have stipend in exchange of our graduate student assistantship. So I will have to portrait exam, I will have to teach labs, stuff like that. So that is almost guaranteed, and the pay is pretty good. So they want to make sure that can cover your basic living. University of Windsor, in terms of their PhD rate, is like $42 an hour right now. And because we have student union, so they bargain some increase every year to combat inflation. So in terms of money, sometimes you also can do a research assistantship outside of your graduate assistantship. So that is another thing you may want to check out before you choose a program, is how many hours your school allowed you to work. Because like University of Windsor, to my understanding, you can work on campus and you also have hours to work off campus. So for that gives students a lot of flexibility in terms of like if they need extra support, they can actually do it legally. Because some other school I have heard that students have to do it under the table and then they got exploited because they cannot say they are working overtime because they are under a full-time study permit. And the last thing you want to do is to get your study permit revoked. So.
And yes, talking about difficult moments, so have you faced any difficult challenges during your academic life?
Yeah, definitely. Well, like PhD program is not very easy to complete, and one of the things that I noticed, or I didn't notice at the beginning, is how much time I need to put in outside of classes. So like let's say undergrad, maybe I don't need to spend too much time to read like course PowerPoint slides, like, or even the textbook. But for PhD program, because a lot of classes is seminar style, like I mentioned earlier, so it can take like 3-4 hours at the very least outside of class that you have to prep for your classes. And of course, on top of that, you have to do your research and research project and other program requirements. Some program like mine, we have 2 separate exams to finish as part of the degree requirement. So you have to carve out those time to study. And on top of that, you have your graduate assistantship. And if you're ambitious enough, you want to do a research assistantship and being a research assistant for other faculty member. And if you are really, really ambitious, want to develop other skill set, you may want to participate in student organization on campus. For example, at University of Windsor, for graduate students, we have graduate student society. So you may want to be like department representative, or you may even want to be like student committee member to certain committee at university at large. So these I would call it community service, and they're very good experience. Oftentimes people don't notice that because a lot of scholarship exists. They do ask students to provide like evidence of their leadership experience, and participating in community service, that is a very strong piece. It's a mouthful, but I hope you can get a sense. Like, it's hard to juggle with everything if you want to earn all experience.
Yes, doing PhD is not an easy task, and I guess my audience is able to infer from your experience. And thank you for sharing your academic life with us. So in the next section, yes, we'll talk about the social life. So this is very interesting for many of the people because they're interested to know, coming from a different country, and then you have also stayed in the States, United States, and after that decided to come to Canada. So how was the social life for you? Do you feel homesick, and did you face any cultural difference in the initial days?
Yeah, for sure. So I would say my homesickness is pretty strong both time while I'm in the States as well as in Canada. I thought I won't have a big cultural shock between transition from the States to Canada, but like every time when you move to a new environment, you have to get adjusted. And some people, they like that is a determining factor for some people choosing where they go to, because they may have relatives live there and it is an important part for them to get support. But for me, I don't have any relatives, so I just go to a place that I decided because I want to go to their program. So that honestly, now thinking back, I would like to go to a place that I have some relative around or some friends that I already know they're there, because when you go through those times, it's really hard. And especially if you don't have any other international student in your program or within your fan group, it's hard for them to understand what you are going through. And like, just like right now is holiday season, and oftentimes we don't get the luxury to go back home. So those things add up. And one thing for doing a graduate degree, I don't know if it's a common that you guys talked about, maybe it depends on the subject, because I'm in psychology. So we talked about self-care a lot. So we talked about, besides school, we have to do self-care, we have to take care of our mental health, and work-life balance is really important too, but that is definitely a skill to learn.
Yes, and I've seen this is a very good quality over here of many of the people. Even at the University of Windsor, you will see all the officials are putting too much of importance on your mental health. So they provide all kind of assistantship, they provide all kind of support for all the students. And you're talking about networking and friends. So how was that for you?
So of course, the very beginning, my friend circle is relatively small because I don't know anyone. So my friends is basically my classmate. But to a certain extent, you will notice you want friends that is not your classmate, because they remind you of the hard time that you are during school. So you want to expand your circle. And like in terms of Windsor, actually there are several local clubs. Like for example, I'm in a local running group, so that helped me to completely remove myself from the university setting, but then I'm able to get connection with the local people. So that get me to learn about Windsor. Honestly, it's better than I Google what Windsor is, and Windsor is very interesting place if you get to know the locals. But if you are not interested in like venture outside university, but also want to know people on campus, I would recommend you go to different student group. Like there are interest group, right? Like there are, for example, I talked about graduate student society. They have clubs, and when I participate being a department representative, I get to know students from other department too. So I think by doing this, I get to make new friends. So another thing is I am really interested in fitness, so I went to the gym a lot. That's how I met Manal, and right now we are good friends. So I would recommend you to don't be afraid, just go around and look at bulletin board. Sometimes they have interesting book club. If you're interested in reading books, you can go. Like, people are very welcoming here, I would say. At least that's my experience. Like, people are willing to help. And let's say if you are interested in philosophy, you can even email faculty member to see is there any clubs that open to other students to join. So yeah, I would say try to find people that are good people that will support you throughout the hard time. And I'm sure you will meet someone throughout your pursue or your academic journey in your PhD if you decided to go for one.
Yes. And I totally agree with you. The social life in Windsor is good. It's not only because of the university, it's also because of the people who live here. So it's very good. I think everyone should experience that once they come here. And thank you for sharing your thoughts about your social life.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So thank you so much, HioTong, for sharing your experience with us. So now that we have come to the end of the video, so can you tell us, or can you tell our audience, what are your plans after the PhD now? And then also if you can give your contact information, so if anyone wants to contact you regarding any confusion or any doubt they have, so they can contact you.
Yeah, of course. So you can contact me through my school email, and I'm going to give it down at the description box, I guess. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll add it in the description box.
Yeah.
So you guys can go and follow there.
Yeah, so
confusion.
In terms of plan after, so far I have two in mind. So one, I think for some, I'm not sure is it common for other subject or other program, but in psychology it's quite common for people to go on postdoc. So postdoc is more like a doctoral fellow for students who already earned their doctorate and they want to continue do research, so then they can pursue another title as postdoc. And oftentimes after that, a lot of people choose to go to academia to pursue like a tenure track faculty position. So that is one route, which is a very traditional route. Another route is to have a job in the quote-unquote real world. And for me, because I'm interested in working with women's health subject and stuff like that, and at the NGO. So for me, I can look for jobs like program coordinator, project management to manage research projects, and being a research fellow, which it can be associated with the university research institution, but not necessarily being a faculty member. That means I don't need to teach. Or I can be a project manager, I already said that, but have like project coordinator, just different title. Another one I noticed people start to hire individual with expertise like mine is user experience with researcher. So that is a new area that I'm interested in looking into as well.
I wish you all the luck for your future.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming to the channel today. And I hope you guys liked the video. If you liked the video and if you liked her experience and if you want more content like this, so do let me know. So we are good friends and I have her contact with me. So if you want to ask us something, or if you have a special topic on which you want us to make a video, I'll invite her to my channel again and we'll make another video for you guys. And thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.